Hi, Brandon Slade from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about exercise called the reverse band front squat. So this variation is a lower body exercise, usually helping you realize, hopefully, what you can front squat in the future. Also known as a future method by setting the bands up this way, popularized by Louis Simmons. Now, this can work great in a conjugate system. This can be great for athletes to help them get confident holding in heavier front squat weights. Hopefully you can help they can hit in their training cycles, can build confidence in terms of catching good big cleans. There's just a lot of benefits to an exercise like this. Definitely not one of the more common ones, but I do think there's benefits of putting it in a training program. Now you're going to have to set your bands up on your rack here. We got band pegs up here pulled down to the bar, so you are going to want some kind of rack to be able to do this, and obviously need bands. Outside of that, it's just like your regular front squat. Now I will admit that this rack is actually on the short side, so this is probably not the most ideal setup for this rack. It probably would actually be better doubling the bands up, kind of like a bench press. However, I didn't feel like dealing with that on this rack because most racks are going to be taller than the rack that I'm on, and I'm really short. I'm probably going to make it work anyways. So we got the bands here, and really what we're trying to do is as we go down, the bands are going to provide assistance in the bottom. So as they lengthen, they're going to give us aided help in the bottom, and as we come up, we're going to realize more weight. So this is a great variation, like I said, in terms of heavy and handler loads. So I wouldn't probably use it anywhere else in a training program. That's just me. Now when it comes to front squat, we're going to have our hands on the bar. I'm going to show the rack position first. That'd be here. We're going to keep the barbell up top, elbows good and high, and then we would be able to unrack in that position. That works great if you know you need to catch cleans or you need to be in a good athletic position in terms of learning how to front squat and everything. Definitely do that option if you can, or if you're going to need to be able to do it. If you happen to be an athlete that's not going to need that, baseball players in here, we don't do any kind of cleans or anything, so I let them do the cross position, which would be here, and then we're going to hold in that position. You probably will see that a lot with powerlifters as well, so powerlifters, that's probably where you're going to be at. Now, what we're going to do here, I'm going to show you the front squat, and then we'll talk about some programming stuff. So here, I'm going to hold, get a good quad position, unrack the weight. As you can see, the bands are pretty much off. They're not really doing anything at all here. And I'm going to squat down, and they help me out of the bottom. And then rack. So again, not the most ideal setup. I would use one of my bigger racks or use different bands in terms of how to set this up. But for demonstration purposes, you're probably going to loop them around the top of your rack and down to the bar as well. Find a band that lets you handle about 5 to 10% more than you normally would if you're doing like a 1-rep max. So you don't want a band that's going to give you a stupid amount of help. The change in the strength curve is not going to be conducive to helping you make progress. You're going to basically get a ton of help out of the bottom and next to no help at the top. You're basically just going to be frying your nervous system in terms of the way you're able to hold. Like I said, just a little bit, nothing crazy, and it'll do what you need to do. This is definitely too little, but if I would have had this probably on the other rack, or if I would have had micro bands doubled up, would have been perfect. Now, when it comes to programming, I think, again, this works best taking this for heavier weights, singles, doubles, triples, to build confidence with those weights. Other than that, I really don't see a huge benefit to this exercise. I don't really see why you would want to do a buttload of reps. There's no reason to do any kind of dynamic effort or speed work with it. It really, in my opinion, only has one really good purpose, and that's to let you handle more load than what you normally can, which lends it just naturally being a heavy exercise as one of your main movements for the day. So if you're in a conjugate system, you know, you can definitely, like I said, do a 1 or 2 rep max, whatever it is. But otherwise, if you're a weightlifter, or let's even say a sport athlete, use this as part of your peaking cycle before you hit your heavy cleans or your heavy front squats. That way the nervous system is already used to those loads that you want to try to hit, and then when you go to try to hit them, hopefully you have really good progress with an exercise like this. So if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.